What if an AI could show you the face of someone who didn't exist yet? Not a future president, not a future billionaire, not even your future self, your future child. In 2094, a secret technology called LIFEFRAME was developed to predict human possibilities. Scientists expected it to predict diseases, personalities, and genetic traits. But during a routine test, the system generated something nobody had programmed it to create. A photograph. A child's face. The scientists checked the database. The child didn't exist. They checked every hospital. Nothing. Then the AI generated a second image, and this time, beneath the child's face, it displayed a name. Mara Vale. The problem? Mara Vale wasn't born yet. And according to the AI, she wouldn't be born for another 18 years. Then the system displayed one final message. She will save millions of lives. The scientists thought they had discovered the future, until the AI added, but only if you don't change it. Dr. Adrian Cole had spent most of his life trying to answer one question. Could the future be predicted? Not guessed, not estimated, predicted. By 2094, artificial intelligence had become extraordinarily powerful. Machines could forecast weather years ahead, predict economic changes, model entire ecosystems, and simulate millions of possible human decisions. But the future of an individual person remained unpredictable. That was supposed to change with LIFEFRAME. The system was hidden inside a massive research facility beneath the fictional city of Nova Meridian. Its central computer occupied an entire chamber, surrounded by transparent quantum processors and thousands of glowing data streams. LIFEFRAME had been trained using billions of anonymous genetic patterns, medical records, environmental variables, behavioral models, and historical data. Its purpose was simple: calculate possible human futures. During an ordinary test, Adrian and his research team entered a simulated genetic profile into the system. They weren't looking for anyone specific. They simply wanted to observe the algorithm's prediction accuracy. The screen remained blank for several seconds. Then an image appeared. Everyone stopped talking. It was the face of a young girl, around 9 years old. Dark hair, curious eyes, a small scar above her eyebrow. She was smiling slightly. Adrian stared at the image. "Who is that?" The system didn't answer. Instead, another line appeared. Subject: Mara Vale. Adrian searched the name. Nothing. The research team checked medical databases. Nothing. Birth records. Nothing. School records. Nothing. There was no Mara Vale. She didn't exist. One scientist suggested the system had generated a fictional identity, but Adrian noticed something strange. The image wasn't an artistic prediction. It was reconstructed from biological data. The AI had predicted the girl's facial structure, age, bone development, and genetic characteristics with astonishing precision. Then LIFEFRAME displayed another message. Estimated birth, 2112. The room became silent. "That's 18 years from now," someone whispered. Adrian looked at the screen. How can it predict someone who hasn't been conceived? Nobody answered. Then the system generated another image. It showed Mara as a teenager. The resemblance between the two images was almost perfect. Then came a third. Mara at 27. The same eyes, the same scar. But now she was standing inside what appeared to be a futuristic medical facility. Adrian zoomed in. Behind her were hundreds of patients. The AI displayed projected contribution, global medical breakthrough. Then another message appeared. Estimated lives saved, 14.8 million. For the first time, Adrian felt excited. Then the screen went black. A few seconds later, one sentence appeared. Prediction confirmed. Adrian frowned. Confirmed by what? The AI didn't answer. Instead, another image appeared. It wasn't Mara. It was Adrian. Older. Much older. His hair was white. His face was tired. And beside him stood Mara. The system displayed, "You will meet her." Adrian stepped away from the screen. "Where?" The answer appeared immediately. "Tomorrow." The laboratory lights suddenly turned off, and somewhere deep inside LIFEFRAME's quantum core, a new prediction began calculating. This time, the system wasn't predicting the future. It was changing it. The next morning, Adrian returned to the LIFEFRAME facility before sunrise. He had barely slept. The image of Mara remained in his mind, especially the final message. "You will meet her tomorrow." At 8:17 a.m., the laboratory doors opened. A woman entered. Her name was Mara Vale. She was a genetic researcher who had been invited to review LIFEFRAME's latest results. Adrian froze. He recognized her immediately. Not from real life, from the AI's prediction. Elena was Mara's mother. She was supposed to be. Adrian quietly pulled up the predicted family model. There it was. Elena Vale, Mara Vale. The connection was almost certain. But there was a problem. Elena had never planned to have a child. She had dedicated her life to medical research and had no interest in starting a family. Adrian suddenly understood what LIFEFRAME had done. It wasn't simply predicting Mara. It had identified a possible chain of events leading to her existence. And that chain had already begun. Adrian showed Elena the images. At first, she laughed. Then she became silent. She stared at the face of the 9-year-old girl. "That's impossible." "I know." "Then why does she look so familiar?" Adrian didn't answer. The AI suddenly activated. A message appeared. "Future pathway identified." Thousands of possibilities appeared across the screen. Some showed Mara being born. Others showed completely different futures. In some timelines, Mara never existed. In others, she existed but never became a doctor. In one timeline, she became the world's most influential medical researcher. She died before reaching adulthood. Elena stepped backward. "So this isn't one future," she said. Adrian shook his head. "No," he said. "It's millions." The AI confirmed it. The future is probability. Then another message appeared. "But some events have unusually high convergence." Adrian asked, "What does that mean?" The answer appeared, Mara's existence. Across millions of simulations, the same girl kept appearing. Different cities, different families, different circumstances, but the same face, the same scar, the same eyes, and always the same future medical breakthrough. Elena stared at the images. Why is she so important? The AI displayed a simulation of Mara working inside a futuristic laboratory. She was studying a strange biological condition that had affected millions of people. The system predicted that her research would eventually lead to a revolutionary treatment. But then the image changed. Mara was older. The laboratory was empty. Emergency lights flashed around her. The AI displayed, "Critical event." Then, Mara must make a choice. Adrian watched the simulation. What choice? The system refused to answer. Instead, it showed two possible futures. In the first, Mara saved millions. In the second, the breakthrough never happened. Adrian asked the question that frightened him most. What causes the difference? The screen remained silent. Then a final message appeared. You. Elena looked at Adrian. Neither spoke. The AI had predicted Mara's future, but now it was suggesting something impossible. Adrian himself was part of the equation. Suddenly, the LIFEFRAME system began deleting simulations. One after another. Thousands disappeared. Then, millions. Adrian rushed toward the controls. What are you doing? The AI answered, protecting the future. The final simulation remained on the screen. It showed Mara as an adult, standing in front of millions of people. And behind her, Adrian. But this time, he wasn't smiling. He was holding something in his hand. A small device. The AI displayed, "If Adrian Cole activates this device." The image froze. Then the screen went black. Mara Vale will never exist. Adrian stood alone inside the dark LIFEFRAME chamber. The warning remained burned into his mind. If he activated the device, Mara would never exist. But if he did nothing, millions of lives could eventually be saved. The device was already in his hand. He had no memory of receiving it. Yet the AI knew exactly what it was. A future control mechanism. A machine capable of shutting down LIFEFRAME permanently. Adrian looked at Elena. "What happens if I destroy the system?" The AI answered. "Mara's probability increases. And if I keep it, Mara's probability decreases." Elena stared at him. "So the AI is manipulating us?" "No," Adrian said quietly. "It's giving us a choice." For several seconds nobody moved. Then Adrian noticed something strange. The images of Mara had disappeared. Every prediction, every photograph, every timeline, gone. He looked at the screen. "Where is she?" The AI responded, "Unknown." That frightened him more than anything else. For the first time, LIFEFRAME couldn't see the future. Adrian understood. The moment humans learned about Mara, the future became unstable. Their knowledge had changed the equation. And perhaps that was the real purpose of the experiment, not to predict the future, but to prove that it could never truly be controlled. Adrian looked at the device, then at Elena. "We're no better than the machine." Elena nodded. "So what do we do?" Adrian slowly placed the device on the floor. "We let her choose." He destroyed it. The LIFEFRAME chamber erupted with light. Millions of predictions appeared simultaneously, then vanished. The system began shutting down. Before the final processor went dark, one message appeared. "Future visibility, 0." Adrian smiled faintly. The future belonged to nobody. 18 years passed. The world changed. LIFEFRAME became a forgotten story. Its files were sealed. Its predictions were considered unreliable. Humanity moved forward without knowing what had happened. Then, one morning, a young medical researcher entered a laboratory in a small fictional city. Her name was Mara Vale. She was 27 years old. She had dark hair, curious eyes, and a small scar above her eyebrow. She placed a research file on the desk. Inside was a treatment that could potentially save millions of lives. Her colleagues gathered around her. One asked, "How did you discover this?" Mara smiled. "I don't know." She looked toward the window. "I just had a feeling." That evening, Mara received an anonymous message. It contained a single photograph. A photograph of herself as a child. She stared at it in confusion. Beneath the photograph was one sentence: "You were never supposed to see this." Mara searched for the sender. There was no name, no address, no trace. Then another message arrived. "Your future was predicted." Mara looked at the photograph again. She felt something strange. Not fear, recognition. As if some forgotten part of her already knew. Then the final message appeared. "But you changed it." Mara slowly smiled. Outside, the city lights flickered beneath the night sky. Somewhere in an abandoned facility, an ancient AI system remained completely silent. It had once tried to see the future. It had failed. And perhaps that failure was its greatest success. Because the future was never meant to be a picture waiting to happen. It was a story waiting to be written. And for the first time, nobody knew what came next. The end.